also important to say that
it's anonymous too.
Almost all of these attacks, all of the really petty ones,
are anonymous,
are unsourced.
Now, as an editor of a paper, do you let? I thought you didn't do this kind of thing.
I thought about that when I read it. I mean, I would say the problem with this story is, look, I mean, it's pretty clear from the story, from the stuff that's not unsourced, that is on the record. Clearly the guy there were some legitimate problems with this guy. When you do have multiple people who are leaving, that's more about. I mean, that is more about potentially how he treats his subordinates, which is like a legitimate issue.
Right.
There's a legitimate concern there. It sounds legitimate about how much travel he was doing and whether that was, appropriate given his position and all that stuff, and given diminished resources. So I'm not saying that this guy is just totally a victim of.
I think
the problem with this piece is it mixes that stuff with stuff, and we haven't even mentioned the other one.
No, here it comes.
Please.
Wait. After.
Are you ready for this? I want people to be sure they're sitting down.
Okay. Yes, really, because if you think
blowing it at Toto's was a problem,
that was nothing compared to this. He also got off on the wrong foot by wearing. Are you sitting? Really serious? By wearing jeans and tennis shoes to the office on, admittedly, one particular Friday. A Friday that
shall live in infamy. I mean, the problem is, and I would have to say to any of these staffers who are passing this stuff along, like, maybe your intention was to say something about him. What you really did was say something about yourselves. And that's Jesus. I mean, I heard tell that Tom Sokolowski sometimes came to work without wearing pants. So, I mean, I know everything goes at the War Hall, but come on.
Poor Tom. Tom, as the head of the War Hall, would have been dealing with these same constipated crab heads. Yeah, okay. So, okay.
I almost want you to ask him about this when he's on tomorrow, but I'm almost thinking that it would be totally unfair to him to do that.
Yeah, so. I'm not going to. Yeah. If he wants to discuss it, he can. But I have a feeling that this crowd probably they probably counted the silverware when he left Toto's. Okay, so...
And he left muddy footprints in the foyer.
But here's the snarkiest thing. It's not done. This article is just beyond belief. Okay, I wonder who this is.
I have a guess.
Okay, one local arts leader. Who would that be?
I have a guess, but I'm not.
Is it a gallery owner or
I have a guess, but I'm not.
A collector? Okay. One local arts leader concluded that Mr. Wettenhall's tenure would be brief after meeting him for the first time. Oh, yeah. The minute I met him, I knew. I don't know why Toto didn't know. I could smell it. The guy reeked. Okay. And here's the local arts leader quote. As soon as he met this guy, he assessed him. There was a lack of self-awareness, a lack of inquisitiveness about this new place he found himself in. He would talk, but he wasn't really listening.
It may well be true, of course.
It may well be. I have never, Marilyn, what is this piece?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
And then buried at the bottom, the guy they just kicked out during his tenure, attendance for the whole system of museums that he headed is up 10% this year. Let's kick him out. He wore jeans!
Yeah.
On a particular Friday, if you'll recall. This is the funniest thing I've ever read.
It's really amazing, and this is where I guess it's really hard. I mean, you asked whether I, as an editor of a story like this, came to me. I mean, without knowing everything that's going on there, it's a little hard to judge. But I definitely think I would have had some I definitely would have wanted to know why we're including some of this stuff, because I think ultimately, look, I mean, you could say that about anybody. Any administrator who's worth their salt has done something to piss off their boss, right? I mean, I have done things to piss off my publisher, and to his infinite credit, he hasn't fired me for it. So thanks, boss. But there are certain, if you're not rubbing some people the wrong way from time to time, you're probably not doing the right job.
Right.
So, I mean, it sounds like there were some legitimate managerial issues here. The problem is that just all this other stuff that got thrown into the mix about, he was talking but not listening or whatever.
This is all personality stuff, and it seems like underneath all this is he did not show the proper deference.
Right. It was sort of a Mitt Romney kind of thing.
The deference and respect.
And honestly, if that was, it may be that part of the intention of including that stuff was to sort of reflect on the culture at the Carnegie. I mean, it's possible that was what was going on there sometimes.
I don't know Marilyn Pitts, and
I don't know her well enough to say, and I certainly don't know what went into this particular story, but I do think it was a remarkable read this morning.
Just unbelievable.
I mean, it's really more than a year's worth of reading that scene column. It really gives you a sense of what the city's cultural, what that tiny little community of one percenters is really like.
Our Republican betters, our Mitt Romneys, and they hold the power in so many ways in this town.
I just hope Toto doesn't listen to this show, because if she does, we are never getting invited over.
Do you know where Toto lives?
I don't either. I just said Shadyside because it fit into that song Toto, the Squirrel Hill.
In Squirrel Hill?
In Squirrel Hill. It sounds right.
Well, then she's practically a neighbor of mine.
Yeah.
Oh, but even though I do live where, on my street, there is an awful lot of Jews. Do you think there were any Jews at the table? Seriously, I'll place a bet. Oh, goodness. God. Unbelievable. Oh, I'm so glad you saw that. I gotta save this. I can't throw this away. That might be one of my favorite stories of all time. We'll let Chuck in here, even though this is because I didn't get to it. Chuck on the debate. I thought it was odd that Ann Romney was sitting in the gallery. Undecided voter.
Maybe she's like, I don't even know who I married at this point.
I know. Jeez, I don't know. Michelle Obama was not out there. She was backstage.
Yeah.
But in a number of shots, you could see Ann Romney sitting in the gallery in her pink dress. By the way, Michelle wore pink, too. They had the exact same color on.
How embarrassing.
But I was wearing pink as I watched last night.
That's the kind of thing that if you pull that crap in Toto's house, you never get a call back.
I guess that would be true. See, you know what? When I go, you know what? I have to tell you, just because I am who I am. But when I find myself with those people, it doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
But it can happen. I go out of my way to use the wrong fork.
God bless you.
I do. I go out of my. I'm thinking, oh, I suppose they think that I'm a loudmouth. Well,
nobody invites you expecting you to sit demurely in the corner.
I do. I can't help myself.
Yeah.
I find myself immediately thinking, all right, I can't take this anymore. I do. I don't do anything totally unseemly like pass gas, but
make underarm noises.
Yes.
Blow the straw covering at Jim Roddy.
Okay, back to Chuck in his email. Yeah. I think Chris is wrong in saying that
you're an idiot. No.
in saying that debates don't move voters.
Well.
Polls from the last week or so would prove that wrong. The main question, that's true. That
no. But I wouldn't say that. I said
let him finish.
Yeah, I'll get my chance.
Yes.
Screw you!
The main question is, did Obama do well enough to win back some of the ground he lost in the past week or so? We don't know that, but I say we do think he stopped.
Yeah.
He stopped the slide.
I wouldn't say that debates don't move voters, and I totally agree. I mean, clearly that first debate was a big example of it. I think that there's a diminishing return on it as the debates wear on, and I don't think the coming one will move voters at all. I do. My recollection. I can't point to the numbers of this. My recollection is that first debate counts more than like almost all the others put together, and I think that's the part that he's going to have a hard time reversing that.
Okay. We do have an anonymous person writing in
that the chair
of the board of the Carnegie Museums is a Jew.
Well, thanks for clearing that up.
Well, I suspect he's not much of one.
Dear good God.
Well, he doesn't even have a Jew. What kind of a name is that for a Jew? Lee B. Foster? That's not a Jewish name at all. But then there's Lynn Cullen.
I was about to say.
All right. And
thank you for being the one.
Mr. Foster's a member of the tribe.
Yeah, really. Come on.
Carnegie. Well, you know how these.
Oh, you're about to dig it deeper.
No, I'm just saying, he's their Jew. You have to have one. Or
no
two,
collection is
perhaps.
Complete. Right.
And they have lots of money. And we need their money. And because they want to belong so much, so many of them, that, well, all the more reason to get their money. Okay, I'll stop.
Go to commercial.
Take a commercial. No, don't take a commercial. Hang on. We just got to get. Oh no. Okay, we will. Yeah, you think it's a good time?
Yes. Right now. Hit the button. Just do it. Don't wait for us.
Go.
More is on the way with Lynn Cullen Live.
Go to BergBargains.com for great deals on tickets to the Science Center, History Museum, Carnegie Museums, and the top Halloween attractions in Pittsburgh. This week, get discounts on the Scare House, Terror Town, and Pittsburgh Opera's Don Giovanni. BergBargains.com, Pittsburgh's e-commerce mall. BergBargains.com.
So, tomorrow night, I'm going over to Real Q. That'd be the former International Lesbian and Gay Film Festival. Or former Gay and Lesbian International Film Festival. I don't know which adjective comes first or last. But it's been running for almost a week. Goes through till Sunday. Tomorrow I'm going because my good friend, the aforementioned Vanessa German, is the star of a documentary. And she'll be, I think, performing and taking questions as well. So, got to see that. Okay. And they have documentaries, they've got comedies, they've got everything you can want. They have an indie movie about James Dean. Why would that be at the Gay and Lesbian Film Festival? James Dean was gay? But I thought he kissed Elizabeth Taylor.
That's how it happened.
Anyway, if you want to know, here's what I'm going to do because I'm not sure when it's starting. I think it's at 7. You know, laughing at your own jokes that much is just not cool.
I know.
You can go to realq.org to get the whole, listing of what's showing and what times, and they're all at the Harris Theater in lovely Cultural District, which, of course, we would not have if it weren't for the likes of people like Toto Fisher. Just remember, real, REELQ.org.
COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, is a lung disease that robs people of their ability to breathe. As many as 24 million Americans suffer from COPD, also known as chronic bronchitis or emphysema, and half of them don't know they have the disease. If you or someone you love is over 35 and has smoked more than 100 cigarettes in their lifetime, visit driveforcopd.org and take the screener, then take that to your doctor. I'm Jeff Stoltz, and I drive for COPD.
listening to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Once again, here's Lynn Cullen.
Okay, now that I got Potter here, I just want to say speaking of the Post-Gazette, I mean, we've just been having a ball with that unbelievable article about this guy leaving. I didn't even know he'd come. We sure made a splash when he left. I took issue with the Post-Gazette on Monday or Sunday when they ran the obituary front page story about Arlen Specter's death. I was stunned by two things. The photo. Do you recall it?
I don't. I'm sorry.
It was, you couldn't, if you worked. Can you imagine how many pictures of Arlen Specter they have? You had to go out of your way to find a picture that was that horrific, unflattering.
Yeah.
It was a picture of him clearly when he maybe was just done with chemo. He didn't have a lot of hair. He was gaunt. He was shot from, down underneath his face, and there were dark shadows and the lighting. He looked like a Halloween mask. It was frightening. So there's that picture, big picture above the fold. And then the headline was, the first word of the headline was an adjective. Crafty.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania senator, dies or something.
Yeah.
I went nuts. Crafty is a pejorative. Crafty is real close to what? Shystery, smarmy, Jewy.
Yeah.
I was stunned.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
Yeah.
I went ballistic.
Yeah.
And I said, there's going to be letters. Yeah. Well, some of the letters hit today. I mean, people just freaked. I guess I don't have to read it. Outraged at the unflattering photograph. But I think that word, the first adjective, crafty, in bold lettering.
Not venerable.
Yeah, how disrespectful.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you wanted to acknowledge that he was an amazing political player, is that what that, I mean, he played the game.
Yeah.
But this guy's record of public service, whether you loved him or hated him, and most people found ample reason at some point to hate him, he did a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me a little. I remember when...
What do you think was going on there?
Well, look, I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for people who can do that for themselves or not. I mean, I would say writing headlines, especially in a case like this, is real tricky. I can remember when Bob O'Connor died, and the Post-Gazette headline also pissed people off on that occasion. And I remember what it said. It said, O'Connor dead.
Yes.
And there was a case of, you can't really say that it was a pejorative. I mean, Bob O'Connor was dead, but there was something about sort of the flat, if they had even said O'Connor dies, I think somehow.
Right, it would have been.
And I can't explain like why I feel that would be different, but there's something about the just O'Connor dead.
It sounds awful. It sounds...
Yeah. But I mean, you've got. I think
this is
crafty
worse.
Crafty just feels like there's a place for an assessment like that of a person's record, and as you say, it's a sort of note that he was a very adroit political operative in many ways. I don't think that the headline is where you do that. I think especially with an obituary, you err on the side of.
The obituary itself, which was written by Mackenzie Carpenter, I thought was excellent.
Yes, yeah, very good.
It was excellent.
Yes, yeah.
So this was whoever wrote that headline, and then whoever, what? Does somebody like Shribman see that headline?
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
He does, and he let that go?
Apparently, yeah.
And let it be noted, he's a Jew.
Is that the standard we're using now? Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was a little close to saying that.
Yeah, but maybe that's part of it. You don't necessarily think through your own. I mean, I could see where for some people there are times when, if anything, you err on the side of being more cautious about that stuff when you're not a member of a group, right? Oh, I just, I wasn't thinking about it because that's not how I meant it when I was thinking it through, and therefore I never accused myself of anti-Semitism, so why would it occur to me that that's an issue? You know what I'm saying?
Well, even take that away.
Yeah. No, I think it was a bad choice.
Outrageous.
I think it was a bad choice.
Outrageous.
I think it was a bad choice.
Because there is no way around it. It's a pejorative.
Yeah, it's a bad choice.
Why would you do that to a man who was the senator of this state longer than any other person in this nation's history?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's unconscionable.
The other thing, too, is, the other thing that makes it a little strange is just, it's not... This isn't a story that popped up at the 11th hour.
No, exactly.
I can tell you that reporters were calling and making these. One reason why do these stories read so well? It's because they're written weeks in advance. I was actually, this goes back a month or so, I was actually interviewing Cyril Wecht when he got a call from the Tribune Review, about Arlen Specter, and it was the story that they were preparing to have in the can for that guy's death. And it always seems ghoulish to people, but that's what newspapers do.
Well, no, you have to,
They have all that background, and they basically just wait to write the first two, which are the last two paragraphs of the story, to get the exact details down.
Oh, this is so great. There is the Pittsburgh Blue Bloods Facebook page.
No, I think this might be a joke.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a joke.
What does it say?
Wheezy Hill.
Oh, I see. Oh, I'm sorry. So this is what they're all saying about him after the dinner, after Toto.
Yes.
Oh my God! How could that rube not speak when I told him to speak? That was from Elsie,
Betsy Broadhurst,
better known as Wheezy Hilden. Then Betsy Broadhurst shot back, "Wheezy, I'm shocked that man dissed you that way. You would think he worked at my McKeesport restaurant."
Betsy Broadhurst would not use the word dissed.
No, she wouldn't. And then
I knew the Broadhursts.
Susie Hillard writes, "If he wears juicy jeans on a Friday, he is toast." And James Boom Boom Roddy writes, "Did someone say toast? Is it noon already? Time for martinis."
Also, Jim Roddy would not wait till noon for a martini.
God. Thank you. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh girl, that I actually thought, oh, there's a Blue Buds.
That would be great if there were, actually.
Well, we've been so disrespectful to our betters today. And
in the best Democratic tradition.
That is correct. Comforting the afflicted and inflicting the comfortable. Yes. And speaking truth to power.
Speaking of which, Tom Sokolowski tomorrow.
Yes! God, how
Anything
odd
else,
it must have been for him to have to work under these people.
Yes.
I wonder if he went insane. I wonder if they paid his psychiatric bills. I should stop.
You should. You just keep okay, do the thing where you made us stop talking again. That would be good.
Okay, I am done. I'm dead. And tomorrow, Tom Sokolowski. And we are not mentioning Toto, Elsie, or Mr. Widdenhall, who was tarred and feathered, I understand, in Sewickley, and ridden across the river. Good evening.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.